In 4 years, Palin had shot through the ranks, from PTA mom to city councilwoman to mayor. One of Mayor Palin's first orders of business, clean house. She purged a number of department heads who wrote an editorial endorsing and supporting Mayor Stein.
And it was the bumpiest ride I've ever been on in my life.
Among the victims, Wasilla's police chief, museum director, and 3 other department heads who were rehired a few weeks later. Palin made more waves. Although during her campaign she pledged to cut costs, the local press took aim after she hired a city manager, Victoria Nagley, former editor of the Frontiersman.
She told us flat out that no, she didn't need to hire a city manager, even though she didn't have any administrative experience. She was going to do it. We said, okay. She said, it's not rocket science. So, okay. But then she got into office and hired a city manager.
And still another controversy.
It was relayed to me by the librarian that Sarah said, what is needed to be done to get books that I find objectionable out of the library? And of course, that was horrifying to the professional librarian.
We tried to verify former Mayor Stein's claim. Sarah Palin turned down our request for an interview. We also tried to contact the librarian, Mary Ellen Emmons, but we were unsuccessful. Although a 1996 Frontiersman story quotes her, she was asking me how I would deal with her saying a book can't be in the library. I told her clearly, I will fight anyone who tries to dictate what books can go on the library shelves.
The bottom line was, whatever Sarah Palin did or did not want to do in terms of banning a book didn't happen.
No, didn't happen. But there was a huge outcry from the more, I guess, liberal folks in town saying, hold on a second.
Would you say she got the message?
I think she got the message because she backed off.
Sarah Palin made sweeping financial changes, but some might not be what you would call fiscally conservative changes. For example, while she cut property taxes, Palin raised the sales tax.
So the sales taxes were going through the roof, and she was able to cut property tax, not by shrinking government. The actual cost of running the city of Wasilla went way up during the time that she was mayor.
Palin paved roads, improved public transportation, and beefed up the police force. And during it all, the mayor gave birth to her youngest daughter, Piper.
She was only 3 days old, and she was already underneath Sarah's desk. And Sarah went back to work straight away.
Sarah Palin ran for a second term. Once again, her opponent, former Mayor John Stein.
The specific project issue, which I debated her in the 1999 election, was the construction of a ice rink or a recreation center for Wasilla.
To help cover its $15 million price tag, the mayor/hockey mom issued municipal bonds. In effect, Wasilla borrowed the money. Though Sarah Palin campaigned again as a fiscal conservative, her city, for the first time, took on a multi-million-dollar debt.
And those were the days where the Democrats were characterized as tax and spend. Well, Sarah, you're borrow and spend, which I think was one notch more negative than the tax and spend point.
Some of this, John, sounds like sour grapes from a guy who really devoted his life to the business of managing government, who got unseated by a woman with no experience.
Exactly right.
The property tax was eliminated,
right,
minuscule as it was.
Right.
The current mayor says the city's in great financial shape.
Right.
The police department, which you started,
Right.
is
It's
grown
running.
and gotten strong.
Sure.
The one project that you can tell me was a questionable bond issue still is a good project.
Yeah, it is.
And she was reelected. She
Yeah.
beat you.
Yeah.
Again.
No question.
Good mayor? You won't say it, will you?
No. No. Can't say it.
Sarah Palin left her mark on Wasilla, much of it funded through a process called earmarking. Members of Congress allocating federal dollars to special projects in their own states. Mayor Palin hired lobbyists to push earmarks through Congress, almost $27 million worth, between 2000 and 2003. It's a practice Wasilla Mayor Diane Keller continues today.
The projects that we've lobbied for are meat and potato projects for our community. Roads, sewer, water projects. Can a community our size afford it all on our own? No, we can't.
By the way, Alaska receives more earmarks per capita than any other state. So listen to what Sarah Palin's running mate, John McCain, pledges he will do with earmarks.
The first earmark, pork barrel laden bill that comes across my desk, I'll veto it and I'll make them famous and you'll know their names. You'll know the names of every one of them.
Just ahead,